the Tomorrow Night Show because we don't record live. I'm your host, Don T. Wannabe, and here on our show, we try to look out into that multiverse and see what's happening outside of us, and if we got a treat for you. We've reached out into the galaxy, and we have gotten a phone interview with one Marcus Phoenix of the planet Sarah, who defended his planet against a threat known as the Locust. Marcus, say hello tonight.
Thanks a lot, Don, for inviting me on the show.
So Marcus, I guess we'll start you out with our first question. How in the world did all of this begin? How did you end up fighting an enemy known as the Locust? I mean, that's just a big green grasshopper or something pretty much, isn't it?
Well, before we even knew about the Locusts, there was actually a war known as the Pendulum Wars between the Coalition of Ordered Governments and the Union of Independent Republics.
So you're telling me things don't even start with these locust things?
That's exactly what I'm saying. You see, the conflict was pretty much evenly matched, and so the UIR developed something known as the Hammer of Dawn, which was an orbital laser from a system of satellites. But myself and a team actually went in, and we took the schematics of the Hammer of Dawn, and as soon as the UIR saw that being used against them, they gave up.
Wow, orbital lasers and government commandos? And we think we have it bad.
See, this was a very trying time because 6 weeks after this treaty, the locusts just come up from under the ground and start attacking our cities.
Oh, okay, whoa. Just stop right there. You're telling me that these locust things lived underneath the ground of where everyone is on this planet and then suddenly come out as soon as all the governments make a treaty? That just sounds ridiculous.
That's what happened, Don. We were so worn out from the previous war the locusts were able to overwhelm us, so COG leaders decided that we should retreat while blowing up cities along the way to hopefully slow the locusts down. I, in the midst of all of this, wanted to lead a mission to save my father, but it was not allowed, and I had to do it off the books. Unfortunately, I got caught and failed at my mission, and they sentenced me to life imprisonment after a court-martial.
All right, let me see if I've got all these events down here. So, the locusts come out, everybody goes to a city stronghold, the government starts bombing all the other cities, you, in the middle of all this, just run out to go get your daddy and then get thrown in jail because you weren't supposed to. Do I have this all down right? Do I have it correct, Marcus?
Yeah, it sure sounds like you repeated exactly what I said.
All right, so obviously you're not in jail now. So what happened to get you out of there?
I had been in prison for 4 years until my buddy Dominic Santiago got me out. Turns out the COG was running low on people and could use anyone's help, even mine. We met up with them and figured out that the only way to take on this threat would be to map their underground tunnels and then deploy a light mass bomb to destroy everything.
All right, this is starting to sound like pretty much the plot to any military movie ever. Let's find out where the bad guys are and let's bomb them. What is this, Independence Day? I've reached out across the galaxy to get this story. I can go to pretty much any movie and see this.
The difference is this is real with real losses. We lost Anthony Carmine and squad leader Kim just trying to get the resonator, and then the resonator didn't even map enough of the tunnel network when we went to the mining facility to do it. From there we went to my dad's old laboratory, seeing that there was a bigger network we could use to map it. After that we had to board a train just to get the light mass bomb to where it needed to go, and encountered the general of the Locust and had to kill him. Probably the worst fact of all of this is it didn't actually kill all of the Locust.
Wait. You bomb them and it doesn't work? It was a big, huge bomb. How did that not work, Marcus?
Well, it's a bit tough to take out that many filthy animals with one bomb blast. And the COG tried to send more forces into the tunnel, but we kept sustaining heavy losses since we were in their territory. As my squad Delta went through some of the tunnels at one point, we discovered that the Locusts were using a giant rift worm to try and sink our cities, including Jacinto, our last major stronghold.
Okay, so giant worm, trying to sink the city that you've got left, all that. This is getting kind of hard to believe here, Marcus. Really hard to believe.
Well, we ended up killing the riftworm before it could sink Jacinto, and then were ordered to go investigate a nearby outpost where we were able to find an entrance into the tunnels next to the nearby Kadar Mountains. Unfortunately, we also came across prisoner cages, in which one of them had Dom's wife in it, and she was so much of a shell of herself, disfigured, Dom ended up choosing to euthanize her.
That's the saddest story I've ever heard. We're on the air still? No. I'm fine. I'm fine. So what happens next?
Well, after all of that, we went charging into the Locust stronghold to avenge her. And once we got inside, we found the Locusts fighting other Locusts who had been irradiated by an energy source known as emulsion. Emulsion is very volatile and turned them into what we now call the Lambent. After fighting for a little while, we decided the best way to destroy the Locust and Lambent forces would be to destroy Jacinto, causing a giant sinkhole so that the nearby sea would flood through the tunnels. But of course, after our friends Baird and Cole dropped a bomb off, it was destroyed by one of the larger Brumac enemies. Thankfully, I still had a Hammer of Dawn available, so I used the orbital laser and focused it on one of the Lambent versions of the Brumacs, and because of the emulsion running through its veins, it violently exploded and took out the city. It took out a lot of them, but their queen was still alive.
So at this point in the conflict, I'm supposed to believe that the Locusts are fighting their glow-in-the-dark brethren, or whatever's going on with them. So you decide, let's bomb them, because that worked so great last time, because bombing's the answer to everything. And then that doesn't work, because who would have thought it would have worked ever? And then your idea is, let's use the giant orbital space laser that we've conveniently forgot about to blow up one of the glow-in-the-dark big bad guys, and suddenly that fixes everything? Man, that's some drama.
It only gets crazier from here. We were on a ship known as the Sovereign, and the Lambent attacked us out of nowhere, killing 2 high-ranking COG officials. But before one of them died, he gave me a disc that revealed my father was actually still alive, just being held captive.
This thing keeps getting crazier and crazier. So your dad's still alive and he needs help? This is ridiculous.
Well, not only that, the island he's on is actually protected by man-made hurricane generators, making the island only able to be gotten to by submarine. I got one of my old friends Dizzy Wallen to help, and we found a submarine, but we needed emulsion to fuel it. Unfortunately, this is where the story gets dark. We go to find some in a town called Mercy, where we find out that humans are able to become Lambent as well. In the middle of all the chaos, we're overrun by the Locust and Lambent, but Dom sacrificed himself, creating an explosion that wiped them all out, saving us in the process.
Not again while I'm on the air. Not Dom. Not Dom.
Even after such a heavy loss, we had to keep moving forward. While searching for fuel, we came across a group of survivors who were able to help us to find some. And of course, as soon as we found that, we were attacked by the Locust Queen. But ultimately, we escaped and made it to fuel our submarine.
And then what happens, Marcus?
When we finally arrived, we found out my dad was being held at the main hotel of the island. And after fighting through hordes of bad guys, we made it to him. My dad then explained he was working with the Locust Queen to take out the Lambent using a certain frequency. And then, on a more mind-blowing note, we found out that the emulsion was actually a parasitic life form. Time was running out, so the Locust and Lambent had to go whether the Queen was happy or not. As soon as my father started the machine, he told me that he had to infect himself with Lambent cells in order to test it. It was yet another dark moment as I watched my father collapse on the ground, dying. Adding insult to injury, the Locust Queen came through as well, and I had to kill her with Dom's knife, finally avenging his life. After this, though, the machine did its job, and the Locust, Lambent, and Emulsion were all gone. and we were left to pick up the pieces of what humanity had left.
All right, so it's terrible that you lost your dad, Marcus, but surely everything's better now. I mean, the glow in the dark guys and the locusts, they're all gone. You've won. What else could go wrong?
There was peace for about 25 years, if you could call it that. I stayed outside of the new coalition of ordered governments and got married. Stayed on my own. Had a son who we named JD. JD joined the COG only to desert with his friend Dell and joined a group of outsiders. He befriended the chief's daughter Kate, and they went out raiding COG settlements to get equipment and rations. One day after coming back to the village, they were attacked by the COG's new robot army. But after repelling the forces, were attacked by a bunch of unknown creatures. Kate's mother was taken, so they came to me for help.
All right, so your son's a bonehead who is pretty much just chasing after a girl at this point and needs your help. I mean, what are you gonna do, kids? Am I right?
Well, I know I wasn't sure what to believe. So we decided to go to Fort Reval, where thousands of locust corpses had been buried after the war. We had to escape a bunch of flimsy robots and destroy them. But then we came across what we dubbed the Swarm, and boy, can I tell you it is real. One of their snatchers grabbed me up and sucked me inside and took me away, just like it had taken away the others from the camp.
Ew. So you were inside that thing? Ugh, that's disgusting. And I mean, who'd have thought thousands of dead bodies of locusts turn into this other thing? I mean, sounds like a movie.
Don't make fun of me, Don. In any case, JD and his friends did manage to find and free me. We figured that the locusts never died, but instead went into a sort of hibernative state, in which they metamorphosized into what we have now, which is the swarm. When I was in the pod that they put us in, I was briefly connected to the hive mind and found out that Kate's mother was still alive and being kept at another site. We went to the grounds, but a huge hive had been created and it was going to be impossible for us to get through. Thankfully, due to some telecommunications nearby, I was able to call on some old friends, good old Cole and Baird. If you didn't already know this, Baird actually created all of the robots that we were fighting earlier that the COG now use.
Woo, yeah, Cole! And I guess Baird.
The key here is they brought big mech suit weapons that we could use to fight our way into the hive. Another dark moment hit, however, when we found out that Kate's mom was integrated too heavily into the hive's network, and removing her would kill her. Upon her mother's request, we did have to kill her. She did pass on an amulet to Kate, which oddly seemed to have a Locust Queen symbol on it, and Raina, Kate's mother, said that it had belonged to her grandmother.
Wow, Marcus. That's just absolutely ridiculous. Your son's girlfriend could be related and descended from the Locust Queen? That's just unfathomable. How in the world do you proceed from all of this? Is there more to this?
Well, at the moment, no, we're just at a crossroads. Honestly, I guess this means we need to protect Kate so that she doesn't get integrated into the network from this point. And Dawn, she's not his girlfriend.
Well, all I know is, Marcus, I certainly hope that you will keep us at the tomorrow night show on speed dial for what is coming next. Thank you so much, Marcus, for appearing on our show.
You're welcome. And what's a speed dial?
Well, folks,
Hey,
we came,
don't you
we
cut me
saw,
off.
we laughed, we loved,
Don,
we cried, we got angry. But we walked away knowing more about this large multiverse than we ever have. And that is what we are here for at the Tomorrow Night Show. I'm your host, Don T. Wanabia, signing off, hoping you'll catch us tomorrow night.